Hello, everyone. I'm Colin Tessier of WrestleZone.com. This week we had a very special episode of Ring of Honor Wrestling. It was the 500th episode, an absolutely big milestone for Ring of Honor. Last month we celebrated Ring of Honor's birthday with the 19th anniversary pay-per-view. Now we're celebrating the 500th episode of Ring of Honor Wrestling. It's absolutely crazy to think about. The company's been celebrating that milestone all week long, and now we finally get to see it. Two major matches, pay-per-view quality for sure. We had to see Jonathan Gresham face Jay Lethal for the Pure Championship, and we also got to see the Mark Briscoe face Jay Briscoe, two of Ring of Honor's the two members of Ring of Honor's most famous tag team, clashing in a war of two siblings and a great main event. It was very exciting, and I really did enjoy it. I hope you guys did as well. And if you didn't, make sure to check it out. It was, like I said, a pay-per-view quality show that was absolutely free. So make sure to check that out. If you're checking this show out, please check out the other things we do here at WrestleZone. We always do our best to keep you guys entertained with everything we do, whether it's this show, the Monday Night Raw post show for your WWE fans, as well as the SmackDown post show on Friday nights. We also do the NXT post show, which is now on Tuesdays because NXT has been moved. And we also cover AEW, the Dynamite Dudes, Attitude, Marcus and Dominic D'Angelo cover that, and they also do WCW Rewritten, and we also have plenty of interviews. Bill Pritchard just interviewed Paul White, The Big Show. You gotta check it out. We're always doing great things. Make sure to check it out. Leave a like, subscribe. We always appreciate it. So whether it's on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, whatever it may be, we've got you guys covered. So please do show your support. We definitely appreciate it. I know I do. So this week, as I said, the 500th episode, it was again a pay-per-view quality show, and we got it for absolutely free. So it was very cool as a fan to be able to tune in and watch this. I didn't get to see this until Monday. As always, I tune in on Mondays for the watch ROH Watch parties on Fight. Other people get to watch it on Friday night because that's just the way the Ring of Honor television works. But it was worth the wait. It was absolutely two great matches. Now, as someone that is a huge fan of the Foundation, I was really looking forward to Jay Lethal versus Jonathan Gresham. I've said on the show before, Jonathan Gresham probably, for my money, I'll say it, the best wrestler in the world. And Jay Lethal, he's a guy that, especially definitely in the past, has held that title. And before the match, Jonathan Gresham said that he thinks Jay Lethal is still the best wrestler in the world. So in a way, at least the way they were kind of presenting this one, it was kind of the winner could be considered the best wrestler in the world. And who won? It was Jonathan Gresham. Jonathan Gresham retained the title. He retained the Pure Championship via a roll-up. This one went about 16 minutes. Ring of Honor Pure rules matches, and especially for Pure Championship matches, they can go much longer. This TV show is only an hour long, so yeah, I kind of had to figure it would be a little on the shorter side, given we also knew we had the Briscoe versus Briscoe match, and we saw the end of a roll up. Basically, just Lethal was pretty much on the grass, on the edge of victory. He had Gresham on the ropes. He literally made Gresham use his rope breaks. He locked in a double Boston Crab, a Walls of Jericho, if you will, as well as a crossface. So he was this close to making Gresham tap. And at another point, he went for the lethal injection. He called his shot like Babe Ruth, and even that wasn't enough. And this one, as you might expect, definitely a masterclass of pure wrestling. By two of the best in the game. We've seen plenty of pure rules matches in Ring of Honor since the restart, especially, and now probably the two guys that have been in the most of those matches were competing tonight against one another. These two guys have feuded in the past. I think dating back to 2019. Now they're in the Foundation together, and they've been tag team champions together. So they have a lot of history, and that kind of all came to a head now, where they were going at it for this title. They're in the they're not just a tag team, but a stable where they're the Foundation. They're trying to remake Ring of Honor based on the Foundation, pardon the pun, of pure wrestling. But they're still able to put that aside and say, hey, we're gonna put on this. We're gonna fight each other, at least as much as a fight as you can get with pure wrestling, and just kind of showcase what we want to show. What wrestling is all about. That's what the Foundation has tried to do, and we got to see that here. 60 minutes of just pure wrestling at its finest. Like, this is the most pure wrestling you're going to see. Not. I think Ian Riccaboni on the broadcast team said by the end of the match, no, not a single punch, slap, no, strike, nothing. This was purely holds and submission maneuvers. Nothing too crazy. Some suplexes, some things like that, but absolutely like old school wrestling. Not even like, I'm not talking 80s. I'm talking like super old school wrestling at its finest. And that's it proves that there's a different style, even of pure wrestling. We've seen pure wrestling in the past Ring of Honor, even again day back at the restart, where it's this pure wrestling that also includes you know, a guy like Flip Gordon flying around the ring, doing his thing, while in the, you know, the context of pure wrestling. This was just pure wrestling. Again, pardon the pun, but that's the only way I can really describe it. I will say, like, the way this ended, definitely made me, it left me wanting more, which is what you want from your big matches like this. If you are going to put on a free TV show, the wise business move is don't give it all away for free. So, you know, I know I'm sitting here now right after the show, like, oh man, I want more. Like, give me these guys going at it for like 30 minutes. You know, let's double this match time, and let's get a real decisive 100% clean winner. Nothing, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with the roll up, but I'm saying, you know, maybe we could see Jonathan Gresham make Jay Lethal tap out. What would that do for his career? You know, we saw Jay Lethal challenge for the Ring of Honor World Championship last month. Maybe Jonathan Gresham could, you know, be climbing the ladder, if he wishes to, you know, and challenge Roosh or whoever the Ring of Honor World Champion may be shortly down the road, once he's decided that being Pure Champion is not enough and he wants to step up a little bit. Friend of the show, Nando, shipping in with the comments here. Always appreciate it. He's saying, I wish Jay Lethal would be on an NXT takeover like Jushin Thunder Liger did. I think that was roughly 2014 or 2015, if I remember correctly. And I think that would definitely be a great role for Jay Lethal. I remember he was in TNA, of course, now known as Impact Wrestling back in the day. He had a great run there. Came back to Ring of Honor, had an absolutely incredible run with the Ring of Honor World Championship. Not a guy that really, at least as far as I know, especially not in recent memory. You know, if I can't think of it off the top of my head, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Jay Lethal has not had a WWE run at all, not even as like in NXT or as an extra, maybe something like that. But definitely, he has not had a major WWE run. He has not been in NXT. And as Nando here in the comments saying, that would certainly be something he. Again, it feels like every couple of weeks here we do a little fancy booking, a little just pure speculation. We talked about Andrade a couple weeks ago. Now we're considering Jay Lethal. A guy like Jay Lethal, if you put him on NXT Takeover, I think that he would fit in there. You put him in there. I mean, NXT, I will say they've got plenty of great wrestlers, high flyers, you know, just I guess overall wrestlers, and they've got tons of great personalities. And I guess now I'm going to backtrack. Sure, they've got Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, great guys that made the name of Ring of Honor, and plenty of other guys as well. I'm struggling to think of necessarily other than those two who Jay Lethal could really face on a takeover. I think he could put on a great match with any one of them, but I think those two, as Nando here saying, I think that'd be a very cool, like, kind of a Ring of Honor reunion on a takeover show. Adam Cole, Jay Lethal, or Jay Lethal, Kyle O'Reilly. I think there's a lot of, I think there'd be a lot of interest in that. And now Nando with another hot take. He's saying arguably Ring of Honor has more talented wrestlers than AW has. Now, you guys, if you've been listening to the show since I've started it, or if this is your first show, I'll say it again. I sing it every week, guys. Ring of Honor has so many great wrestlers, such a great talented roster. It's such a buffet of technical wrestling, high flying brawlers, characters like EC3, and a guy that's as crazy like PCO or Mark Briscoe. There's so many, just this diverse range of talent. But then if you want to consider, you know, talented wrestlers, if we want to look at it a little more, you know, specifically like that. You know, I don't want to start any, like, you know, crazy, like, you know, argument here, but AEW has an incredible roster. Again, you know, in the past I've been a little dismissive of AEW. I've said when we were doing I've done post shows in the past for Raw, SmackDown, and with the WWE stuff, and I do this as well. But I've been a little dismissive of AEW. I'm coming around now, and I'm, you know, I'm watching AEW. They've got a great roster, and, you know, maybe I'm biased. I've been watching Ring of Honor a lot longer. A lot more consistently, so I'm much more familiar with this talent. And I look at a guy like Jonathan Gresham, Tracy Williams, Bandito, Jay Lethal, as we've been talking about. I would, at the very least, I would hold them up there with what AEW brings to the table. And I'll say it for WWE as well. You could say what you will about star power and, you know, the fact we've talked about before, Ring of Honor having quote unquote stars, but in terms of pure wrestling talent, sheer, you know, just general wrestling talent, I would put Ring of Honor up there with any other company. That's what I'll say. Nando again here, I guess, offering his own ideas about what Lethal could do at a takeover, saying Slick Rick, is that, or I guess that's a nickname for Jay Lethal, saying facing Finn Balor. I think that'd be interesting. We've seen Finn Balor putting on a lot of physical matches especially during his recently concluded NXT Championship run. A lot of physical wars with Kyle O'Reilly, Pete Dunne, the match he lost the title with Karrion Kross. I think that'd be a very interesting matchup, one we haven't really gotten to see. So that is something that I had not considered. I guess I was more looking at the Ring of Honor guy, quote unquote, side of things with Cole, O'Reilly, and there are probably other people that I'm just totally blanking on that have come up through the Ring of Honor system in NXT right now. Those are the two big ones, of course. Tommaso Ciampa, even. Hey, let's put it out there. A guy that wasn't in the Ring of Honor for a while. That's definitely a possibility as well. So I'm liking these ideas, Nando. I like it. Will they happen? I don't know, but I like to sit here on a Monday night and wonder what could possibly happen in this wonderful world of wrestling. Who's to say? We've seen some crazy things happen, even in the past year alone in wrestling with AEW, Impact, and as I talked about last week, Rocky Romero saying he wants to bring Ring of Honor into this spirit of collaboration. Who's to say, what could happen? There's anything that, the future is a wide open road as far as I'm concerned. And especially now with, wrestling somewhat to return to normalcy, that might open the quote unquote forbidden door, as we've been seeing with these other companies. I just don't know. And the fun thing about being a fan is that we get to sit here and just wait and see what happens, and that's really what it boils down to. Now, I don't want to shortchange the main event match here: Mark Briscoe versus Jay Briscoe, a match we've seen a couple times, and I'm going to go on a limb here and assume that Jay Briscoe has won every time these guys have faced off in a singles match. That's at least what Ian Riccaboni said, because at the end of this one, Mark Briscoe won the match. Now, he won it via countout, so I'm sure that kind of like the Jay Lethal Jonathan Gresham match, the fans like myself and even the competitors here might be saying that they are going to want to run this back and get a more decisive result here, where we saw Jay Briscoe and Mark Briscoe clash in this sibling war. As I said, two halves of the most legendary tag team in Ring of Honor history. I think they are 11-time tag team champions Ring of Honor, or overall, because I thought they've also held the tag titles in New Japan. Absolutely legendary tag team. Not too often you're going to see tag team partners like this squaring off in this high-profile main event. And pretty much everything I said about the first match with Pure Wrestling and no strikes, no nothing. This was the exact opposite. We saw chairs, tables. Even though it was technically a normal wrestling match, the referee showed some discretion, and because the Briscoes always do their little the spot with the chair where they don't hit people with it. They set up as like a springboard. Well, this time Jay Briscoe had that scouted, and he just dropped Mark Briscoe with a Spicoli driver right onto a chair, and the referee was like, "All right, keep it going, no problem," and that's cool, right? That's exactly what I was saying with the Pure Wrestling match, and even beyond that, just this absolute buffet of different styles and we can even say different rules. So there's something to be said for that as well. If you're not so into the Pure Wrestling side of things, you got this match, and it's just a kind of a wild brawl. We saw an elbow drop through a table. Just these two brothers going at it. Obviously, natural chemistry, natural history, and maybe they've got some natural frustrations to work out as well. And it was really cool to see these two guys. As I previewed it last week, they haven't really been on the same page in a while. We saw Mark Briscoe team up with PCO. We saw Jay Briscoe feud with EC3, and the whole kind of story of this match was that they wanted to kind of work out their issues by fighting them out, as men do, let's say. And they did, I guess. Although, as I said, maybe we'll get this match. They'll run it back at some point soon to get a more decisive winner, because in the end, that elbow drop through the table from Mark Briscoe, it left Jay down for the count, and Mark just barely made it back into the ring. And Jay could not, and he was like on the precipice, and he just couldn't do it. So Mark, even with a count out, barely won. So I would definitely expect to see. This is not the last time that we're going to see the Briscoes, I would imagine. Nando, again, in the comments, I always appreciate your support. He's saying that brother versus brother is always a good match, especially once the Briscoes. And yeah, that it's very much this classic wrestling. I think of the Hardy Boys with their great feud back in the day in WWE. I say back in the day, that was only 12 years ago or so. And probably even more than I can think off the top of my head at this point. It's very Undertaker and Kane, if you want to include that in a legendary brother versus brother feud. It's definitely it's a deep well of storytelling. No matter what, we've seen these guys fight, and they've feuded before as well. This was more of just kind of a way to resolve the tension they had. But I enjoyed it a lot. This was a great match, and pretty much the moral of the story tonight is that I hope to see both these matches again, maybe on a pay-per-view, because they were pay-per-view quality. So I hope to see these again and get a more decisive result, because I want to see Jonathan Gresham. I'm biased. I want to see him pick up a decisive win over Jay Lethal to kind of continue to climb the ladder in Ring of Honor. And same thing here. It was great to see Mark Briscoe pick up with the win, but I want to see him get the win. I want to see him pin his brother and say, hey, I pinned you. You're a former world champion, but I pinned you. I would hope to see that maybe someday. But if not, at the very least, I can sit here tonight and say this was a great show. I enjoyed it a lot. Absolutely pay-per-view quality. I definitely enjoyed this. And I think I actually scratch that. I know I'm enjoying next week as well. We're going to see LFI face Violence Unlimited, Ring of Honor's newest stable. Chris Dickinson, Homicide, Tony Deppen, and Brody King. I didn't happen to catch which trio it will be next week. They advertised at the very end of the show. But no, whatever combination it is, that's very exciting. We haven't really gotten to see the stable on Ring of Honor TV, at least in Ring of Honor Wrestling, a whole lot since the pay-per-view where they debuted. So I'm very much looking forward to this. Looking forward to seeing this first kind of this opening salvo really in this feud with LFI. Again, the Ring of Honor is this branching stable war at this point, where you've got the Foundation, LFI, now Violence Unlimited. It's very exciting. I like it a lot. I liked it when it was just the Foundation, LFI. Now you've got this third party here. I think that's very exciting. And one more thought before we get out of here. Nando praising the Briscoes feud again. He's saying the family feud there feels like it's on this. Oh, Brett and Owen Hart, of course, and Rick and Scott Steiner as well. Again, I guess it's worth noting that plenty of brotherly feuds in wrestling tend to be on the more old school side of things, because you don't see a whole lot of brothers in wrestling these days. It does seem to be kind of in a different I don't know. It does feel not outdated, but a little more kind of a classic storyline, not in a bad way. This was a nice throwback match. I'll say that. Now, one more question, Nando. You're keeping me going, and I appreciate it. Who do I want to see be the face of Ring of Honor by the end of 2020? I've got one answer for you, and it's an easy one. Jonathan Gresham. I've been saying it pretty much every time he's on the show. Man, he's the best wrestler in the world. I will definitely say the best wrestler on the Ring of Honor roster. I definitely want him to see him, ideally, with the Ring of Honor World Championship in his hands by Final Battle of 2021. I think he deserves it. I think he's ready for it. I'm ready to see this happen. I want to see this happen. If you guys think that as well, let me know in the comments. But I got to go cover Raw. It's a Monday night, and I'm doing this right up against Monday Night Raw. So I hope you guys enjoyed this show. If you happen to listen to this and did not see the show I'm talking about, make sure to check it out. It was absolutely free. It's on Fight TV. 2 pay-per-view quality matches. What more can you say? Make sure to check it out. Leave a like, subscribe. As I always say, everything we do here at WrestleZone is available on any number on streaming platforms: SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, whatever it may be. We've got you covered. So leave a like, subscribe, show your support. I'll be back here literally in just under 3 hours for the if you're watching us live, that is, for the Raw post show. But to do that, I've got to go watch Raw. So thank you very much for watching or listening, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll be right back here next week. Thank you very much, everybody.